Picture a Saturday night in your living room, maybe 30 or 40 years ago, back when the television was the centerpiece of the whole house. The volume is up, the lights are low, and a band takes the stage on one of those old variety shows or maybe a late-night music program. The front man steps up to the microphone, does his thing, works the crowd, and then somewhere just behind him, something remarkable happens. A guitarist leans into a solo that makes the room go quiet. A drummer hits something so precise and so explosive that you forget to blink. A saxophonist steps forward and, just for a moment, owns the entire stage completely. That is what today's video is about. 10 real moments when the backup musician stepped out of the shadows and, in plain view of a national television audience, simply outplayed the person whose name was on the marquee. Not by accident, not by luck, by pure, undeniable skill. I have been paying attention to live music performances my whole life, and what I keep coming back to is this. The people standing behind the lead singer are often the most talented musicians in the room. They just rarely get the credit. If you want a full breakdown of standout live TV performances across the decades, I put together a companion guide, and it is in the description. I will not bring it up again. Now let us get into the list. Number 1 is Stevie Ray Vaughan, playing behind David Bowie on Saturday Night Live in 1983. Bowie was at a commercial peak that year, touring behind what became one of his best-selling records. He was the star, no question about it. But when the cameras caught Stevie Ray in full flight during the guitar passages, something unmistakable happened in living rooms across the country. Stevie Ray was not playing backup. He was playing music that belonged in its own spotlight. His tone was thick and authoritative, his phrasing unhurried. And when he dug in, there was a physical weight to it that no amount of stage production could match. By some accounts, the two men had creative differences and parted ways shortly after that television run. In my view, that SNL performance is one of the clearest examples of a sideman quietly telling you everything you need to know in a single evening. Number 2 is Keith Moon of The Who, and specifically the moment on the Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour in the late 1960s, when he packed his bass drum with explosives and detonated them on live television. Roger Daltrey is a tremendous frontman, nobody's taking that away from him. But that night, Keith Moon did not just outplay the frontman, he outplayed the entire concept of playing it safe on television. The explosion was genuinely dangerous. It singed Pete Townshend's hair and left Moon himself with a cut on his arm, and it is still the single most talked about moment from any Who television appearance. Moon was chaotic, yes, but underneath that chaos was a drummer who played with a ferocity and independence that most musicians never approach. He was not keeping time. He was driving the entire band like a runaway locomotive. Number 3 is John Entwistle, also of The Who. While we are on that band, Entwistle deserves his own entry entirely. They called him the Ox, and the nickname fit. On nearly every television performance The Who gave during their peak years, Entwistle stood nearly motionless while everything around him erupted, and yet his bass lines were the structural foundation without which nothing would have held together. On close camera cuts, you could see his fingers moving with an almost inhuman speed and precision. Daltrey sang, Townshend leapt. Moon exploded, and Entwistle quietly made sure the whole machine ran. To me, that kind of composure under pressure is its own form of domination. Number 4 is Clarence Clemons, the saxophonist who stood beside Bruce Springsteen for the better part of 4 decades. On any number of television appearances spanning the late 1970s through the years that followed, whenever Clemons stepped to the front of the stage and raised that horn, the temperature in the room changed. There is a certain kind of musician who does not compete with the frontman but simply exists at a different frequency. That was Clarence. His solos were not ornamental, they were statements. On late-night television performances and award show appearances, Clemons routinely drew the kind of reaction from studio audiences that most lead singers would envy. The warmth in that saxophone tone was something you felt in your chest. Number 5 is Mick Taylor, who played lead guitar with the Rolling Stones. From around 1969 through the mid-1970s. Taylor came in quietly, replaced Brian Jones, and then proceeded to play guitar with a liquid, bluesy confidence that often left Mick Jagger simply doing his best to keep up with the mood Taylor was setting. On television appearances from that era, Taylor's solos are consistently the musical high points. He was not flashy in a theatrical way. He was just extraordinarily good. The way I see it, those are often the most compelling moments in live music, not the showman but the craftsman who makes you stop mid-sentence and say, listen to that. Number 6 is Larry Graham, who played bass with Sly and the Family Stone and later formed his own group. Graham is widely credited with pioneering the technique of slapping the bass string with the thumb rather than plucking it conventionally. On television performances with Sly, Graham's bass playing was not background texture. It was percussive, rhythmic, and absolutely central to everything the band was doing. Sly Stone was an undeniable talent and a magnetic frontman, but watch the camera operators on those old television clips. They kept coming back to Graham because the bass was simply too interesting to ignore. Number 7 is Rick Wakeman, keyboardist for Yes. Yes was a band full of extraordinary players, and John Anderson was a distinctive frontman, but on television appearances during the early and mid-1970s, Wakeman routinely delivered keyboard performances that belonged in a different category entirely. He sat surrounded by multiple synthesizers and organs, wearing a cape, and played with a classical precision married to a rock musician's sense of drama. When the camera found Wakeman mid-song, you were watching something that required years of disciplined training to produce. I will be honest with you, the keyboards in Yes were not backup, they were the whole architecture. Number 8 is Nile Rodgers. The guitarist who has spent much of his career as a supporting musician and producer rather than a frontman. On various television appearances backing other artists over the years, Rodgers brought a rhythmic guitar style so clean and precise that it became the invisible engine driving the entire song. That signature, choppy rhythm guitar pattern he developed became one of the most imitated sounds in popular music, and when you watch him execute it live on television, the control is almost mathematical.
A star chaser.
The music feels effortless, and effortless only happens after a very long time of making it look hard.
To the sun, I'm up all night to get some. She's up all night for good fun. I'm up all night to get...
Number 9 is Steve Gadd. A session drummer who appeared on any number of television performances backing major artists throughout the 1970s and 1980s. Gadd may be less familiar by name to casual listeners, but among musicians, he is spoken of with something close to reverence. His ability to serve the song while simultaneously elevating everything around him is the kind of skill that does not announce itself loudly. It just makes everything better. When you watch performances where Gadd is behind the kit, there is a steadiness and intelligence to the playing that no amount of showmanship can replicate. Session musicians like Gadd were the backbone of an entire era of American music, and I think they deserve more recognition than they typically receive. Number 10 is Levon Helm, drummer and vocalist with the band. When the band appeared on television, including their famous performances in the late 1960s and 1970s, Helm did something unusual. He sang and played drums simultaneously at a level that other musicians rarely attempt, and fewer still pull off convincingly. Robbie Robertson was the principal songwriter and often considered the creative center of the group. But Levon Helm, singing from behind the drum kit with that rough, honest voice and playing with an ease that made complexity look simple, was the soul of the band in a way that went beyond any job description. On live television, you could not look away from him. So there are your 10 musicians who stood in someone else's shadow, and then, at some point under the television lights, simply refused to stay there. If I were putting together a list of the most underappreciated talents in live music history, most of these names would be on it. The big lesson I keep drawing from all of this is straightforward. The people with their names on the poster are not always the most skilled people on that stage. Sometimes the most remarkable thing you can witness is the quiet professional who has been doing the real work the whole time. If you are watching this channel regularly, I want to encourage you to subscribe and join the community we are building here. I read the comments and I answer questions. It is a good group of folks who share a genuine love of music and the stories behind it. Let me ask you this, and I genuinely want to hear from you in the comments. Is there a live television performance you remember where the backup musician absolutely stole the show? A moment that stuck with you? Tell me about it below. Next time, we are looking at hit songs that were actually recorded first by somebody else entirely, and the stories behind them are better than you might expect. If this video was worth your time, please subscribe. It takes 1 second, and it helps this channel reach more folks who care about the same things you do. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.